All right, so we've got the BlueBus installed here on this E52 Z8, and to do it, it's not too difficult, but it's a little fiddly because there's a bunch of stuff that all fits in one place. So the cover here comes off by you open the door. There's a black trim. It has 4 little clips. You pull the black trim out. Once the black trim's out on this car, there is a T30 that you would access straight down, and then 2 T30s that you would access from an angle. Once you do that, the cover rolls forward and lifts up. It clips into here. So once we got the cover out of the way, this whole module had to come out to access the wiring for the CD changer. And so there's a 13mm nut down there, there's one there, there's one underneath where the BlueBus is now, and then there's one in this back corner. So those 4 come out. This lifts up. You'll disconnect the wiring for the telephone module, the wiring for the CD changer, and then there's an antenna module on the bottom side here. So I disconnected all of that to give myself plenty of room, pulled all this out, then I kind of rerouted everything. The original telephone harness, don't need it to be connected to the car anymore because that's where our BlueBus is getting its telephone harness connects to. So that harness, I just taped it up and I zip tied it to the bracket here so it wouldn't get lost, because that harness attaches to the telephone module on the bottom side here. And with that in the way, there wasn't enough room for our sub harness. So what I did was I routed the factory wiring that went to the telephone module, and then I connected it, the DB25 connector, I connected it to the BlueBus adapter and routed that around to the backside there. This I taped up with some insulating foam and zip tied it to the bracket here so it's sitting nice and comfy. The BlueBus I've got on the backside of the CD changer here. The wiring fits nice. It's not tight, but it's snug. The wiring from the CD changer loops in right there, and it's Velcro to the back there. So it will come apart with a little bit of work, but it shouldn't rattle or anything like that. So all of this is nicely secured. I don't think there's going to be any noises, any vibrations or anything like that. And then of course, since it's a little hard to access, we've got a USB cable. This cable is a little bit long. We couldn't really get much shorter on short notice. So once I get all this together, I'm gonna decide how I'm gonna route this. It's either going to kind of tuck back in there, and then this, maybe just a little bit of it's gonna stick out here, or we'll route it up through the top and go from there. But we'll see how that goes here in a few minutes. All right, so from what I've got here, I've got the USB cable installed. You can just barely see it down in there. I routed it around the front side of the CD changer, and then I drilled a small hole in this cubby here. That way, I routed it on the front side there. That way, if anybody needed to put the flashlight back in there, it wouldn't interfere with the flashlight. And then we'll be able to tuck this all in here, and I'll show you what the finished product here looks in a second. All right, so here's what we're left with. Cubby and everything's all nice and closed. Open it up. Here's our USB cable. There's still room to put the flashlight in. And then it seemed like it was going to make some noise rattling around, so I just Velcroed it to the housing there. And then the cable can be extended to reach a laptop or anything like that. Then from there, it can be tucked back in. Just like that.